So hello everyone and welcome you all to our second day of our special Q4 webinar series on how our tech partners can grow and protect your revenue ahead of the upcoming peak trading period. For those who joined for the first time and didn't join yesterday, my name is Jelle Ploeg, typical Dutch name, based in Amsterdam, and I'm the global technology consultant at Awin. Here at Awin, my role is to offer impartial advice to our advertisers and agencies, and therefore ease the burden from discovery through to activation, as well as optimization of any of our tech partner relationship. Therefore, I also ensure that Awin's clients are informed about new partnerships and technology partners and are able to use them effectively. In that way, I also help them secure the best in market offers that are not available outside the Awin network. So another thanks for everyone to taking the time to attend the second day of our webinar series, and a special thanks to our guests today, this particular audience, Envolve, Klass Fashion, and Presize for joining us today in this very interesting webinar series. As of yesterday, I will get to more formal introductions a little later, but it's safe to say they will also be sharing some useful insights on the topic of today, the optimization of your own website, which we'll get to shortly. What you see in the right bar, our Q&A is now open for all your questions, so please do feel free to share any of your questions of the topic of today. And if you want to direct a question to specifically to one of the partners, then by name or the name of the solution that they're having. So as with yesterday, before we go to speak to the panelists, I quickly want to set the scene around the tech partners at Awin and quickly touch upon the problems that retailers, as you guys, also have today in optimizing the customer path to purchase. So this week's webinar series is more focused on how these tech partners can help you as a brand during the most important part of the trading year. Q4 is, of course, highly valuable, or incredibly valuable for retailers. And as we can see here from Awin's own network data, when you compare the monthly sales we track against a yearly average, the final quarter is when most shopping activity happens. So that's, of course, thanks to popular shopping events like Black Friday, Singles Day, and Cyber Monday. And not to mention the run-up to Christmas, because consumers are really focused on buying things during this period. And most of that shopping is now being done online. So this year, we predict that online Black Friday sales, so if you combine the Black Friday sales and the Thanksgiving spending, will grow 20% year over year, and will hit the $17 billion sign of a whole total e-commerce spend. So as you can know, it's hugely important to ensure your website is well optimized to convert the traffic that lands on it during Q4. And there are a huge variety of ways in which tech partners can help you optimize your performance during this peak trading period, with many of them outlined here in our problem solution matrix. So if you want to increase your average order value, want more traffic from social media, basically we have a solution for all of it now within our MasterTag. So remember, just a small improvement in your conversion rate can have a really massive impact on your revenue during this Q4 peak trading period. So if we can increase the conversion rate with 0.5% on average of 1 million clicks to your website, we can have an incremental revenue value of 10,000 incremental conversions as well. And also CSS, display, and retargeting are also very valuable marketing channels for you guys as well, but they require some level of expertise. And there's no guarantee of a positive outcome on a CPC model. But however, our partners allow you to work on a CPA, which removes all your retailer risks. So, however, some of you might not want to rely on a third party to help them with these goals. In-housing has been the industry trend for many years right now, with brands that are keen to ensure they have the right tech and talent internally. But if you look at this approach, this means that you constantly have to retrain your staff or having to develop or even acquire new technologies. And some big advantages as well to outsource support when it comes to your marketing tech. And actually that's exactly what this Forrester survey is showing right now. They asked senior marketers about specific areas which they currently in-house versus outsource their digital expertise. So when it came to areas such as website tech, social media, and marketing, a minority relied currently on in-house talents for these services, and the general trend was to keep on outsourcing this support. So as the Forrester survey suggests, optimizing your own website is one of the major dilemmas that you as a retailer may be faced at the moment, particularly in terms of speed of change in this very particular area. So because the tech trends evolve so quickly, it's really hard to keep up with this trend as well. So we as Awin have been helping clients solve many of these dilemmas since the beginning of 2019, thanks to all of our tech partner suite. So all our partners have been pre-vetted, and these partners have been selected by Awin because they are effective and very innovative solutions that deliver incremental value to your current program. So all our technology partners, what I mentioned before, are integrated within our Awin MasterTag or the Awin container tag. So that means that these partners work as a plugin within this tag. So this means there is no extra integration needed from your perspective or from an agency perspective. So we can have the plugin live within 1 to 4 weeks time, depending on the extra integration and check, of course. Besides its use advantage of speed, there is another one, and also a very important one for you guys as well. It's completely risk-free because all these technologies work on a CPA base, which means always a positive outcome on your ROI. You have the opportunity to rapidly test these tech partners and without any expense to see if one of these partners will fit your specific needs as an advertiser. So for the ones who joined yesterday, we can see here the marketing professor Scott Holloway's clock model. Yeah, thank you very much. So this describes the different areas where customers interact with a brand. If the ones we joined yesterday, I will go over it quite fast. So on the clock, you have the 12 to 4 phase. That's a pre-purchase phase, which is focused all about advertising. 4 to 8 is the purchase phase, where customers first interact with a brand in their stores or literally on their websites. And finally, from 8 to 12, you have the post-purchase phase, which includes everything that comes after transaction. So you can name it. So loyalty programs, user reviews, and even customer service, etc. So yesterday, we've been all focused on the pre-purchase phase and showed how our tech partners can help drive awareness to your brand before they even land on your website. Today, we are going partners can optimize this customer experience when they eventually land on your website. Traditionally, this is not an area that affiliate marketing has played much part in. Affiliates tend to send their traffic and leads over to you as a retailer to eventually convert. But with the growth of technology partnerships via Awin, we are seeing affiliate tech partners actually help brands to optimize their own conversions as well. So day 2 of our webinar series is about optimization and why it's even more important than ever to ensure your own website is set up to extract value from the traffic that lands on it during peak trading. So as the SN2 survey here suggests, this is really a key priority for marketing professionals since the beginning and in the year 2021. Nearly half of the respondents puts it in as a #1 goal. But optimizing your own website is also one of the major dilemmas that retailers face in terms of speed of change. I'm going to be repetition again, but the tech trends evolve so quickly that it's really hard to keep up with this trend and to ensure your website has all the capabilities It needs to serve your customer expectations. So we can see this being demonstrated by the rise of the direct-to-consumer trend. These D2C brands tend to sell one or two value-led rather than price-led products alongside a great customer experience. By moving away from a focus on price to one-on-one value and experience can be a positive move for retailers keen to protect their profits in the long term. So we can even see this happening from bigger brands like Nike. They pull their stock away from Amazon because they realize they don't have control about the customer experience on that marketplace. And basically what happened, they couldn't create also brand loyalty there. So instead, over the last decade, they have focused on driving sales via their own website. And they now see almost 40% of all their sales come direct instead of via third parties like resellers. So with that wider context explained, we now have three guests where I'm very happy with that look at this different part of this optimization phase. First, we're going to look to understand how you can optimize every individual customer experience via particular audience. Then we're going to illustrate how you can resolve customer queries fairly quickly using Envolve's AI-based solution. And we also have a brand, Joe from Klass Fashion. Thank you very much for having you in the call as well. And finally, we're going to speak to Presize about how their tech can help you reduce returns as well. So with that said, let's now speak to our first of the three partners that we have in today. Paul, welcome. Paul is the sales manager at Particular Audience. So give you a brief introduction, Paul, if I may. Particular Audience provides the e-commerce businesses with a no-code AI-powered personalization layer where market-defining search, merge, and recommendation technologies automate a different website for every customer that lands on it. So thank you for joining us today, Paul.
Hi, Ellen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you quite well. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. I hope everyone's well.
I hope so. But we don't get the response.
That's a message to the wider audience, not just you.
So, Paul, before we get into our interview portion, why don't you talk us through how Particular Audience solves the problem at hand that we see here on the screen?
Sure. What we'll do is just run through the demo. Great. So this is one of our clients, Ali Fashion in Australia. And what I'm going to do is take you through how we provide personalization through product recommendations and also through our personalized search as well. Now notice we're now on the home page, and what you can see here is in the first recommendation widget, we can see trending. So this is what a new user would be met with on site, but notice how this changes as we create a bit of a customer click-tail. So to begin with, we're going to click on the PLP floral dresses. And what we're going to do is we're just going to scroll down the page. Now notice at the bottom that we don't have a recommendation widget at the moment because this is the first time we're landing on the website and we haven't created a customer click-tail. But notice how that changes throughout the demo. And so what we do here is we click through our first recommendation. So we like the look of the floral mini dress. And this is a typical setup on one of our PDPs. So the first recommendation widget is trying to increase the discoverability of items by recommending behaviorally similar and visually similar items. And the second recommendation widget, called often bought with, is trying to increase the average order value by recommending complementary items. And now here what we're doing is we're creating a customer click-tail by interacting with items that we like on site. And again, here you can see the traditional setup, trying to influence those bottom line metrics. And in this example here, we've added a size 8 dress to the basket. And notice here within the cart page, you can see that there is a recommendation widget. And here what we do is instead of recommending similar items, we're only recommending complementary items to the items in the basket. The reason being is that we don't want to influence average session time in a bad way, and we want to increase the amount of the units per transaction for this particular customer, recommending the items that they're most likely to convert on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mimic leaving the website. And what you can see here is that we have our first set of exit intent recommendations. Now, these aren't just random pop-ups. These are based on the user's intent, based on that click-tail that they've created throughout their journey. Now, when we go back to all dresses, back to this PLP here, once we scroll down, you can now see that we have recommendation widgets on the PLP. Now, for clients thinking, is this position fixed? We can position that recommendation widget as the client sees fit. And now what we've done is we've returned, we're mimicking a returning customer. And now when we've landed on the home page, you can see that the trending recommendations have been replaced by recommended for you. So trying to engage that customer when they're coming back to the website. And now what we're doing is we're exploring our search experience. Notice here that we've typed in midi dress. And if you can just see in the top right hand corner, we have a button which we call See Similar. And what See Similar allows us to do is it allows us to filter through product lists for similar items based on that behavioral and visual similarity. And as you can see here, as we click the button, instead of initial recommendations being removed, they're being pushed down the page to make the experience more intuitive. Now what we've done is we've opened a new tab and we're searching for midi dresses, but through the PLP. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a bit of a customer click-tail to show you how our personalized search experience works. Now, what we do is we usually start with Elasticsearch, and Elasticsearch is solving issues such as typo tolerance. So if someone makes a mistake, we can correct it. And predictive text, so predicting what your customers are looking for when they enter words into the search query. And also attribute filters, so the ability to filter between brand, between shape, between cut, between any categories you see fit. But here what we're doing is we're creating a customer click-tail. And what we're going to do is we're going to return back to searching for midi dress, but via the search experience, via the search bar rather. And when we type in midi dress again, you can see that the initial recommendations that we've seen have been replaced by these new recommendations based on my click-tail. So you can see that the dresses that are being shown have a higher neck and are similar to the items that I viewed within my journey. That is it. Thank you. Yeah, I think you're on mute.
I'm mute. I just muted myself because I have a little bit of an irritating cough, so that I don't cough through your demo. So sorry for that, Paul. Like your demo, thank you for it. So I have also a couple of questions for you. So why do you think it's so important for retailers to personalize their website experience for today's customers?
I think with the digital age we're in, customers are expecting a high level of personalization on site. Their tolerance for a lack of recommendations or lack of options when they're searching for items on site is a lot more heightened than it was previously. And so for brands to be able to ensure that they're keeping customers on site and not going to competitors, personalization is key. And the benefit of this is that it leads to brand loyalty, to customer retention, all of those key metrics that that we assess performance and growth on for brands. One thing I'll also include is that historical data shows that when you do pick the right personalization engine, that it does influence your bottom line metrics effectively. So I think it's a case of ensuring that you're picking the right partner, not just any partner. That would be my opinion on the case.
Yeah, totally understandable. So what kind of control do brands have over the look and feel of their current site designs?
Well, I think the first thing to note is that all brands are different. What we like to do is when it comes to how our widgets and our recommendations appear on site is we would have a consultation session where we talk to the brand about how it may appear, and through Figma we'll expose certain designs, and once they're approved, we can go live with those designs and build them into the roadmap. One thing I will say is that if a brand wants a very low touch experience, we can deal with the majority of this process, but some brands want to really have control over the feel of what it looks like on site. And so we can we can inform them throughout the process how we're optimizing, how we're improving their designs. That would be the answer. Yeah.
Okay, nice one. So, and then a question that I think a lot of retailers have when you have talked about personalization as well. So firstly, how quickly can particular audience tech be set up?
In all honesty, we'd be looking at the 6 to 8 week mark. Because of our partnership with Awin, that whole process is managed by a particular audience and Awin, and so it's a very low touch experience. But when we're talking about personalization, we're learning how items are interacting with each other on site, and that is specific to the brand. And so we aren't your traditional partner that can integrate in 1 or 2 weeks, and we have to learn how items are related to each other on site and be able to render our widgets accordingly. So we're looking at a 6 to 8 week period, but again, that whole process is managed by a particular audience and Awin, so incredibly low touch point.
Okay, nice one. And is there any impact on the page load times before your tech once is live?
Not at all. So what we like to say is that our page loads asynchronous to the website. And so what we do is we sit on top of the website. We don't impact the page load speed at all. For clients that are particularly hot on that topic, we can also alter the size of the JS tag as well to shrink that size so that they're doubly sure that we're not affecting load time as well. But we can do that. We can discuss that through a consultation.
Okay, nice one. So you showed an example of dresses, of course. Love it when a guy shows an example of dresses.
Yeah, 5 minutes talking about dresses wasn't the easiest, but
it's nice, right? It's nice, right? So maybe you buy a lot of dresses for your girlfriend, maybe. So does your solution also work in other segments as well? So think about finance, or think about electronics or travel.
Yep. So we didn't touch on it, but our blend of technologies, which is collaborative filtering, which is looking at the behavioral data, computer vision, which is the visual similar recommendations, and then NLP, which is calculating the descriptive similarity between items, allows us to be able to work with different sectors, whether that's, as you said, electronics, furniture, and we have tooling clients. What I like to say is that if this is of interest, we should definitely set up a call alongside Awin to discuss how what pain points you need solving and how particular orders can fit into your personalization journey. But we have clients across multiple verticals. Okay,
nice one. No, I think that are all the questions for me. So another reminder for the crowd as well. If you have any questions for Paul about their solution, please post them and we will get to that question shortly as well. So thanks again, Paul, for your great demo and speaking about dresses for 5 minutes. Thank you. So Luke, I'm really looking forward to speaking to you again during our audience Q&A. So now I'd like to introduce you to Dan from Envolve, an award-winning virtual shopping assistant technology that uses artificial intelligence to answer customer questions and make contextual product recommendations in real time. In that way, they're helping to convert an extra 5 to 8% of the site visitors into online sales. And next to Envolve, we have also joining Joe from Klass Fashion, a UK women's fashion retailer and clothing manufacturer with a heritage of over 30 years. Klass Fashion have over 160 stores, including standalone stores and concessions throughout the UK and the Republic of Ireland. Welcome both of you.
Thank you.
Really great to have you both in the room. So before we get into our chat, let's see how Envolve Tech helped Klass Fashion improve its on-site customer experience.
Thanks, Jelle. Thanks for the introduction. Appreciate it. So yeah, thanks for having us today, Awin. Just to give you a bit of an overview, guys, an introduction to our virtual shopping assistant technology. I'm head of business development here at Envolve, and I've been with the business since it was formed. And yeah, I'm going to walk you through our virtual shopping assistant and how it supports customers in the online shopping experience, both pre and post sale. And as Jelle mentioned, at the same time, recognizes purchase intent and makes real-time product recommendations, again, to aid conversion and boost average order value. So again, thanks, as Jelle mentioned, to Joe from Klass Fashion, who's joining me on the call for the Q&A afterwards. This is the Klass Fashion website. Our virtual shopping assistant, as you see it here, sits in the bottom right-hand corner of an advertiser's site. It doesn't pop up or invade the customer journey. It is a go-to if I need any support in that online shopping experience as a customer. So you'll see the VSA or virtual shopping assistant being opened here, and the customer using the welcome menu just to get a gauge and feel for how the technology works. And here you've got an example of a customer actually asking a question. So this question is more of a CS related question, a post-sale query. If we can instantly answer that question, we're giving a better customer experience at a time where more customers are shopping online. Customers are lazy. They don't want to trawl through FAQ sections of websites anymore. It's about us trying to give that better, more efficient customer shopping experience, as Paul just mentioned on the previous demo. So you've got an example here, taking the customer on how they actually return an item. Brilliant, I've got my answer. I'll go on to do that. And next is an example around sizing. So, how do I know what size to order? Where can I find that information? Customer asks the question. We've pre-trained the AI to answer a set number of questions to start with, mainly using your FAQs as a base level of knowledge. You've got an answer here with where you can find that information. And we've also included a link here to shop new arrivals should the customer think, okay, yeah, I know where to find that now. Maybe I'm going to explore new arrivals and start the shopping experience or continue that shopping experience. The opportunity to make those real-time product recommendations comes when a customer shows some form of buyer intent. So you've got an example here. The customer who's looking for, I think in this scenario, a dress, I believe. So we're talking about dresses again. A maxi dress in this scenario. Customer asks a question. The virtual shopping assistant is trained on that particular answer. It responds in real time with an answer in your brand tone of voice. You've got an option to deep link to shop the dresses section and explore that. Or you've got a product carousel of product recommendations there, again, based on the customer's intent. This is someone looking for a maxi dress, so let's show them maxi dresses and get them to convert or help them along that conversion journey. And at those points you just saw, those are the only points we drop a cookie at Envolve. So when a customer clicks on a button or a product recommendation within the VSA, we don't drop a cookie every time the customer clicks on the widget icon or every time they ask a question. It's only when they take on board the virtual shopping assistant's advice do we have an option to drop a cookie. Now, what happens when someone asks a question the technology isn't trained on or asks a question that's too complex for it to handle? In that scenario there, we give the customer an option to speak to a member of the team. Klass Fashion, we're already using Zendesk, a live chat provider, so we hand straight over to the team via Zendesk in this scenario to give the customer an option to send Klass Fashion an email and they will respond in their own time. So we're taking away that top layer of questions, giving your team more time to respond to those those deeper questions. At the same time, as Jelle mentioned, we're helping you convert up to 5 to 8% more site visitors into online sales, and best case scenario, helping you boost your average order value by as much as 10 to 15%, but also reducing the volume of queries your team receives via your comms channels by around 55%. So yeah, hopefully that gives you guys a quick overview. Appreciate. So hopefully you've taken it in, but if you want to hear more, of course, reach out to us and we can go through a bit more of a bespoke demo. But yeah, thanks for that, Jelle.
Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you very much for going over the demo. So Joe, I'm going to give you some airtime, I guess, because Dan explained a lot on the website and how the tech works. But I think the crowd is also very interested in how you found the technology of Envolve. So how did you find the experience of setting up this new tech on your website, Joe?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. It was really easy to set it up because it's integrated through the Awin MasterTag. We work with the team over there and sent across all our brand guidelines, so things like colours. The guys put together a test page so that we could see what we were going to get, but also we could test the bot as well. So it was really, really simple. We just did some tests. We found a couple of things that weren't quite right. So obviously we supplied extra information to the team to put in at their side. And that's something that we do on a regular basis as well. But yeah, really, really simple and quick to integrate.
Okay, nice one. So just an interesting question for me. So before you worked with Envolve, you had just your own chatbox function, right?
Yeah.
So does the technology from Envolve also mean you reduce the client service overheads?
Yeah, Klass, we've got quite a small team. So what it meant is that our customer service people were trying to answer the phones and talk on the live chat as well, which sometimes it's not great to keep people waiting. So it means that they were able to concentrate on taking the phone calls and processing those orders rather than answering questions that, like Dan said, lazy customers could find on the website.
All right. And of course, the data say we can convert 5 to 8% extra customers. It's also great to hear from you. Is it actually true? Did you see a rise in numbers of the conversions that you saw?
I mean, we saw obviously a drop in terms of calls coming through to our customer services team. So as I said, they were able to take more orders, but it has also helped the conversion rate on the website as well, definitely. And we can see obviously within Awin you can track the sales where Envolve have actually been involved in the conversion. So yeah, we're definitely seeing a positive impact from the technology.
Nice one. That's always great to hear, of course, from somebody else who is involved with the tech. So for Dan, some clients may already have a live chat service running on their website. Does this mean they can't work with Envolve?
No, they can still work with us, and I think as Joe just mentioned, the reason our technology was created in the first place was because through our research, what we found was about 60% of customer conversations were missed sales opportunities, whether that be happening through live chat, customer services, email address, or social channels. So having our technology plugged in means you're capturing those questions that are otherwise slipping through the net. So if you're a site at the moment, you're running any form of live chat, whether it be Zendesk like Joe's using, whether it be Talk2, live chat, Gorgeous, Chatra, you name it, we're able to plug those live chat providers into the VSA. So we have a safety net there to hand over to the customer. Again, our technology, as Joe said, is acting as a buffer between you and your customer and your customer support team. So when we look to Q4 and that influx of traffic that everyone's going to see, we will be on hand to be working 24/7 to reduce the volume you're receiving, but also be converting sales alongside in the background, if that makes sense.
Great, nice bridge to Q4. So for a lot of brands, then their customers are accessing their site on a mobile device. Of course, Q4 more than ever. Does this tech work in the same way on mobile?
Yeah, definitely. So it renders in exactly the same way. We have a number of different rendering options, as Joe mentioned. We'll always test things on mobile before going live to make sure that the VSA isn't obstructing any auto scroll buttons or things like that, or other call to actions. And of course, it can be changed very easily should banners change color and things like that. We obviously want to be visible on site to support the customer should we need to. But yeah, it's fully mobile optimized and works in exactly the same way any other sort of chat window would open. It will open up in full view, so the customer can ask the questions as you've seen it on the demo there, and then we close it to close view. It will just be the little icon on the mobile view of the device. So yeah, totally mobile friendly from our side.
Okay, great one. So to summarize, you have so in the influx of traffic, of course, you reduce client service overhead, like Joe said. You have more time for the important stuff that is linked on your website. So even if you have a small team like Klass Fashion, right, Joe? And of course, and you get a higher conversion rate as well. So I think it's a great way. So especially before that we move into the peak trading period, this is literally the time to start with you guys. How long does the integration needed from your side then?
Yeah, thanks. So I mean, from our side, through Awin and the MasterTag, again, made it so much easier. At the moment, we've got our build schedule down to about just over a week and a half, maybe less than that. All we need from a brand is acceptance onto their program via Awin. We'll then be able to pull your feed from within the network, or if you've got static CSV, we can use that. And then all the information we need to build that foundation knowledge base, also like your FAQs and things like that, we can take from your website. So really, you don't actually have to lift a finger until it comes to the testing phase, as Joe mentioned, where we'll send the finished article to the advertiser in our staging environment so they can have a play around with it, make sure they're happy with the rendering and the user experience, and then just give the nod to the team at Awin and it's deployed via the MasterTag. So very light in terms of integration. There is no, like Yella said, there's no time like the present. We can have something live in time for you to make the most of Q4, not only in terms of a conversion, but also I should mention the learnings, what issues are customers having with the online shopping experience. Currently, you're spending a lot of time improving your website. We can feed back the questions customers are asking, where they're finding pain points for you to then improve your website overall as well. So it's important to mention we can feed that data back to you from our side as well.
Okay, great. A really interesting insight of both of you. So thank you so much for your time. Please stay in the call a little bit longer, because we're going to the crowd Q&A after our last attendee of this session. So finally, I'd like to introduce you guys to Lukas. Lukas is my German friend from Munich, from Presize, very interesting and fairly new to the network as well. It's because they're really innovative and disruptive, because Presize helps fashion e-commerce shops to reduce returns, and besides that, boost the conversion rates. So in doing, they help shoppers to save time and help the planet to save CO2 as well. Welcome, Lukas.
Thanks for the nice introduction, Yellen.
No problem at all.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'm looking forward to it. So, Lukas, I think the crowd is very interested. So why don't you show us a real-world example of Presize in action?
Sounds good. Let's give it a start. So, yeah, nice to meet you guys, or at least in one direction meet you. As Jelle already mentioned, we've developed a digital sizing solution to help fashion e-commerce shops reduce their returns and also boost the conversion rate. So, as you might probably know, fashion e-commerce suffers a lot from the returns. So this might look familiar for somebody. Probably you already queued up a few times at the post office, right? Left office early just to spend your nice evening in front of the post office because the clothing that you bought didn't fit again. And this is actually one of the biggest problems in that industry. And we actually started with the return issue, because on average we see in Germany for fashion apparel on average 50% return rate, and of these 50% of the products that are being returned, we see 50% of them being returned due to the wrong size and to poor fit. And then on the other hand, there's another big issue, which is conversion related, because you already spend thousands of euros for marketing, and there are so many users on your website, but some of them are just scrolling around and don't convert in the end and don't buy because they are so uncertain about their size that they just don't decide to buy in the end. And by giving them some kind of size advice with a digital sizing solution, you can also boost the conversion rate. So the user with Presize has two opportunities to get a perfect size recommendation. The very first one is our key technology, which is the video scan. So you literally just turn in front of your smartphone, do a quick video scan, and then get your size recommendation. But as you can imagine, not everybody wants to record a video, and we're in Germany, so GDPR is super important for everybody here. Data privacy is super important, so we also give users the opportunity to answer body shape questions, as you know them from some other solutions. However, we very much rely on our key technology, which is the video scan, and also offer a complete different design for the body shape questions. So why did we all start this? Our vision is actually to bring 1 billion perfectly sized garments to shoppers by 2023. And this does not only help shoppers to save millions of hours that they not have to queue up at the post office, but also shops and our customers and partners like you to generate additional revenue. Because there's, on the one hand, this return rate issue. So just by saving returns, you can increase the net revenue, and also boost the net revenue with an increased conversion rate and increased average order value. And not only for shoppers and shops, but also for our planet. Saving so much CO2 would help a lot for our planet in order to make this place a little more livable. So we imagine this not to end with fashion e-commerce, but also think about going to other directions. So we are a computer vision company, and we extract body measurements from the video, and therefore are able to create 3D models and avatars in the background already. And this could then end up, to be honest, in any kind of area where body measurements and avatars would be interesting. So gaming, everything that is virtually relevant. Every user gets a unique size ID, which is super important because that size ID can be used throughout all shops that use Presize already. And you don't have to do then the video scan again and again. So if you're not on a heavy diet, or if you didn't eat too much during Christmas and your body didn't change a lot, you can use that size ID and only do the Presize journey once, and yeah, don't have to do it again and again for every shop, for every product that you want to buy. So yeah, this is actually Jake, which is our deep learning engineer, and this this avatar and this 3D model already is from a smartphone, so no big 3D scanner needed. And with this avatar, we can give quite perfect size recommendations because we have actually the best or the most accurate body measurements on the market with our computer vision approach. So yeah, I can tell you also a little bit more about the company and about who Presize is and what Presize is doing. We have been founded in, I think the video is a little bit lacking. We have been founded in Munich, in Germany, with by 3 founders that have all met during an elite program here in Germany, and they all studied at the very best universities and actually have quite a big, let's say, research and technology background. And when I joined Presize shortly after they have been founded, we were 100% tech company. And I mean, still, to be honest, we are product first and tech company, and didn't know a lot about fashion. So therefore, we decided to get some advice from the fashion industry, namely Mr. Brenningmeier and Ms. Rosenberg from the MS family, and also Mr. Heiko Schäfer from well-known brands like Hugo Boss. They are all invested and still are our selected advisors and investors. And also Plug and Play, an early stage investor from the Silicon Valley, invested quite early into Presize. So most of our employees have all worked at the very best or very well-known companies such as Amazon and Nike from the fashion or tech industry. And our team consists of people that have studied at Stanford, Cambridge, and the Brown University, all with a very strong research background, which was totally necessary for these accurate body measurements, and in the end, a working product that is now already helping quite many customers and shops throughout all industries. That was basically it. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you for your great insights to make the world also a better place, to reduce returns based on size insecurity, of course. So how did the idea from Presize first came about? Where did it happen?
Yeah, I mean, the problem that we are trying to solve is quite obvious. Well, and I think everybody knows this this problem queuing up at the post office because your stuff didn't fit again. And then we actually have been approached by workwear companies that they also wanted to try to solve the problem with perfectly garment dimensions. And then we experienced that we need for the size recommendations some kind of feedback loop in order to optimize the size recommendations over time again and again. And this is only possible with online shops, right? Because you're relying on transactional data. So you get the information which product got ordered and which product got returned. And by closing this feedback loop together with our partners, we can optimize the size recommendations over time, and therefore moved into the B2C industry.
Okay, nice one. Nice idea as well. So as you know, some other solutions claim to offer a similar service based on a series of questions relating to the customer's body shape. Why did Presize choose to use the video scanning technology, and what are the advantages for this approach? And what are the differences between the companies that I don't mention, FitFinder, etc.?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because I mean, to be honest, we are mostly pitching against these pure questionnaire solutions, and that is mainly due to the fact that we are the new kids on the block. We've been founded 2 years ago, and I think all the other solutions are on the market since 10 years, and apparently haven't solved the return issue. So we very much rely on our objective body measurements and on objective body data instead of subjective questions about the body, right? If you ask men, what's your average body, or what's your body shape, everybody tells you, yeah, sure, I'm a B shape, and then you look at the bodies and see, okay, you can't really rely on that data. And also we just first started with only the video scan, but then we saw, okay, not everybody wants to record a video, so we also do the questions about the body shape in order to maximize the adoption rate and to create real impact. But therefore we cover both, right? The user that just want to answer some videos, some body shape questions, and also the users that just don't believe anymore in these questions and want to do a video.
Okay, right. So if a customer doesn't use the video, what makes you different from the other partners that are there?
So we leverage cross effects because let's say we have a user that answered the body shape questions and then gets a size recommendation, and then after a few weeks we incentivize the user to record a video again, and then we can learn over time how the body shapes and or the answers about the body shape, how these translate into actual body measurements, right? And we also are able to create a 3D model in the background of the user just based on the body shape questions, because if you try Presize, it's just a complete different approach. And of course, the quick sizer, where the user enters the body shape questions, has a lot of higher adoption rate. So most of the people use this solution. But on the other hand, by leveraging the video and combining them with the high adoption rate from the body shape questions, we are also still able to recommend far better size recommendations.
And you also do A/B testing, right?
Yeah, so we set up an A/B test within every integration. Integration is usually done within the Awin MasterTag. We've developed a special offer pricing here because the only way to detect the real value of a sizing tool is an A/B test. If you compare users with non-users, this is in the end just vanity KPIs, to be honest, and therefore to determine the real effect and the true value of our solution, we set up an A/B test which is included and for free, because we very much believe in our product and we know that it's creating real impact.
All right, nice one. Thank you for your great demo, and I hope everybody is excited about getting involved with Presize as well. So really great insights of all of the participants in the webinar today. Let's have a look if there are questions from the attendees. I saw that Dan already answered some questions in the chat. No problem. So I will begin with Paul. So from an anonymous attendee. So hi Paul, the particular audience solution looks very smart in terms of how it stores the user's previous activity. Is this via first-party cookie, or would this be entirely session-based?
So we don't rely on any third-party cookies. We're purely relying on first-party data because we're predicting what your customers are likely to shop on and buy based on a relationship between items. So traditionally in the space, recommendations were based on customer audiences or customer segments, which is using that third-party data. We flip it on its head, and we just look at the relationship between items on site, and therefore we're always GDPR compliant, which I know is a key topic for like your German retailers. But that's a key benefit of our solution, that it's only first-party data that we rely on.
All right, and if I were to integrate this solution, are you also able to A/B test the value that your solution is bringing?
Yeah, so we provide A/B testing as part of the solution, part of our agreement with Awin as well. And what we'll do is, in terms of the reporting experience, we'll report back on your engagement metrics and your bottom line metrics. So for instance, click conversion rate, average order value uplift, average session time uplift, and so on and so forth. Again, through consultation, we can read deeper into those analytics, looking at, for instance, how brands relate to each other, maybe in terms of what brands are complementing each other, and on top of that, also on the other end, what sorts of brands are cannibalizing each other. And these sorts of information can be used to fulfill other areas of the business and other decision making in the business. So our reporting is pretty comprehensive.
All right, nice one. Okay, great, great insight. Always very valuable to A/B test everything, I guess, to see the real value and the incremental value that solutions like all of you are having. So I got a question for Joe. So on site, do you make it clear that Envolve solution is a bot rather than a human?
Yes, we do.
Okay, right. So is making it obvious that the customer is speaking to a bot something you'd advise?
Yeah, so what we do is we don't call it a bot because I don't think that would sit with our age of customer. Generally, Klass customers are 50 plus. So we call it a virtual shopping assistant. So we've just softened the terminology to fit in with the market.
Yeah, that's quite right. As the Envolve, the virtual shopping assistant as well. So so Dan, let me have a look. I got an applause from the crowd. So thanks for the demo. Interesting technology. As we use the MasterTag, it's great to see that it can be integrated via there within 1.5 weeks. Our site is live in multiple regions. Can this solution manage multiple languages as well?
Yeah, so I mean, at the moment we are only set up to handle English. It's in our roadmap to obviously be able to handle all languages. It opens up the market to us massively. But what I'd say is if you're, if you're based in Germany, you've got an English domain to your site, then we can start off with the English speaking domains. It allows us to grow that knowledge base in life. And then when we're ready to release, have those other languages on our side, we can effectively take the knowledge base that we've grown on our English speaking domains and obviously convert it through to the other languages. So yeah, at the moment it's just English speaking, unfortunately. But yeah, thanks for the question.
No, but it's great that it is on the roadmap. There's also our crowds from the Benelux, Nordics, etc. So we have all different languages. So it would be great to see it more in action for every languages as well. We are definitely looking forward to it. So I got a question for Lukas. So will Presize remember the sizing if I'm a returning customer, or would the user have to use this solution again to get a fit recommendation?
So the first assumption is very right. So we store the size ID, which is basically your data about your body, either the body measurements from the video or the answers about the body shape questions, and then your respective size recommendation in the local storage. So the size ID is always stored and can be used for all shops that use Presize already. So if you first use Presize on, let's say, veromoda.com and then visit another shop, let's say, Klass Sports or Eterna, your size recommendation is already locked in and you don't have to do the whole journey again.
All right. So they get a fit ID, right? So the order ID, that if they come back,
exactly,
that they don't have to do it again, or you have to be six months later if your body has changed for the video, I guess.
You can always reset your size ID, right? If you said, okay, you've been on a heavy diet or gained a lot of weight. No worries.
No worries at all. So I got another one for you. So how long does it take on average to integrate this solution like Presize? So is there a certain volume before the solution would make a meaningful difference to return volume?
I mean, for the learning from returns and from the for our AI component, data quantity plays a big part, to be honest. So very much depends. We don't have a specific volume because this very much depends on the quality of the sizing charts at the very beginning, of the quantity of categories. But well, the bigger the better for us, in order to learn better from returns and to maximize the impact regarding return rate reduction. For the integration duration, I mean, for our partners, it's let's say 30 minutes. We just need a few emails back and forth, and we can integrate Presize within one sprint, let's say 2 weeks at the moment, with all data integration and front-end integration via Awin.
Okay, thank you, Lukas. I don't see any new questions coming in. I'll wait 10 more seconds if there are any new ones for the crowd, this is the time to publish the question. If not, no problem at all. Then I want to thank all the partners that have been in the webinar. So thank you all for joining today. A really cool insights from the optimization part of the website. So eventually, if traffic lands on the website, what are you going to do with it? We can cover Envolve with the virtual shopping assistant to help you convert more and also reduce client service overheads. We've got particular audience to have a website for everyone that lands on the website. If you're a fan of blue dresses, you get blue dresses, and red dresses, you get red dresses as well. And Lukas, eventually to reduce your returns massively and increase the conversion rate. Really interesting as well. So thank you all for having you all. So far in our webinar series, we've covered the awareness and optimization phases in the customer journey and shown how different tech partners can have solutions to support both of these areas. So tomorrow on our last day, we're examining how tech partners can help drive customer conversions and generate the kinds of actions you value most. So Q4 is all about sales volume and the quality of those sales. And so tomorrow's session is a must-see for any brands preparing for peak and keen to understand how they can take advantage of tech partners during this period. So if you have any additional questions, or if we didn't get around to your questions that may be coming in just now or not, please feel free to reach out to my direct Awin email, which you should be able to see right now. Typical Dutch name, you pronounce it Jelle, so it's not jelly, it's not gel, but you can call me that as well, no problem. So I'd also be happy to put you in touch with any of the panelists today. So thank you again for your time today, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow on the Action Day. Thank you very much.